It's common to get out of breath when you're exercising, but why is it happening? And are you okay? Feeling breathless can be scary. Is it poor cardio? Are you out of shape? Or is something bad happening? A few years ago, I worked with a client who was breathless just from walking up one flight of stairs. By understanding why and training right, she completely transformed her quality of life. It's time for you to learn the simple truth about whether it's okay to feel out of breath, why it happens, and the easy way you can improve. In general, being out of breath is absolutely fine, but quick caveat, I'm not a doctor. If, like my old client, you get breathless when you're exercising, walking, or climbing a set of stairs, carry on watching. But if you get out of breath reaching for the TV remote or getting up out of a chair, you should really talk to a medical professional before you listen to a fitness pro. Whether getting out of breath is okay and why it happens are heavily linked, and it's all about energy demand and energy supply. Any movement you do at all requires some energy to do it. We're going to be specifically talking about movement with at least the intensity of a steady walk. Small movements like typing or pouring a glass of water require pretty much zero energy, so we can ignore those in terms of getting breathless. You can call this walking intensity aerobic exercise. You won't be feeling the burn, but you'll be breathing more, maybe even a lot more. When you go for a steady or moderate walk, you'll notice that you breathe more than when you're completely at rest. It might be lots more, or it might just be a little more. Your body is requiring oxygen for the movement you're doing, so you're breathing more to bring the extra oxygen into your lungs. Your lungs put the oxygen into your bloodstream, and your heart delivers the oxygen-filled blood to your muscles. Your muscles can then use the oxygen for energy to keep you moving. This is also why you'll feel your heart beating slightly faster. More oxygen is needed for movement, so lungs breathe more in and heart beats faster to pump the blood more quickly to your muscles. If you walk faster, it makes sense that that needs more energy. The same thing happens, but to a greater degree. You'll breathe harder again to get the extra oxygen in for the extra energy. Your heart will beat harder to get the oxygenated blood to your muscles. And that's just for a walk. If we take the same principle to the gym, let's look at what happens. Jump on an exercise bike and get going. Even more energy is going to be required here than a fast walk. You breathe faster and harder to get more oxygen in for the extra energy being demanded. Heart again beats faster to get the oxygenated blood to your muscles. If you feel breathless doing exercise, even walking, it's because your lungs are trying to get enough energy to your muscles. In these circumstances, being out of breath is fine. You will be okay. You are in control of making this easier too. Why do some people breathe harder and their hearts beat faster for the same speed of cycling or walking? Basically, some people's lungs are more efficient at using the air you've breathed in for oxygen. A greater lung capacity also allows you to breathe in more per breath. If your lungs don't have a big capacity and aren't very efficient, you're going to have to breathe more to meet the same energy demands. If you and I both need 50 energies for 10 seconds of walking, but your lungs can only make 10 energies per breath, you need 5 breaths to match the supply and demand. If my lungs can make 25 energies per breath, I only need 2 breaths for the same outcome. If your lungs are less efficient, chances are your heart will also be less effective at pumping your oxygenated blood. All this results in you and I walking at the same speed, but you breathing more heavily with your heart beating faster. This is why you can go for a walk or a hike with a partner or a friend, and one of you will feel fine whilst the other is struggling. This is safe, but frustrating if you're the one finding it tough. If you get fitter, you'll find it easier. And here's how. Based on what we've learned, you now know the 2 factors affecting your breathlessness are your lungs and your heart. It's absolutely possible to make your lungs more efficient with greater capacity. It's straightforward to make your heart stronger too, so that it can pump your blood more easily. For capacity, think of your lungs like a balloon. When you grab a new balloon out of the pack and try to blow it up, there's a lot of resistance. It isn't very stretchy. If you inflate it and deflate it a few times, now it's easy. The material becomes more elastic. Your lungs work in the same way. When you do shallow breaths in normal life, your lungs don't need to fully inflate, so your capacity will never increase. When you do deep breaths, like when you're exercising hard, your lungs inflate more. By exercising to the point that you need to breathe hard more regularly, your lungs will increase their elasticity. This means you can get more oxygen in, increased lung capacity. Lovely. For efficiency, this is just straight up practice. Like anything in life, the more you practice, the more efficient you become. Your lungs are the same. When you make them practice using oxygen, they become better at it. By exercising to the point that you need to breathe hard more regularly, your lungs will increase how well they use oxygen for energy. That means fewer breaths for more usable oxygen. Also lovely. Your heart is a muscle just like any other. If you train it, it will become stronger. The great news is that if you exercise to the point where your lungs are increasing their elasticity and becoming more efficient at using oxygen, your heart is basically guaranteed to also become stronger. They all link together like the ultimate two birds, one stone. Bigger lungs, more efficient lungs, stronger heart. All you need to do is regularly exercise and breathe hard. Getting out of breath is fine. It happens because your body needs more energy for the activity you're doing. If you get easily out of breath, it means that your lungs have a smaller capacity and aren't efficient at using oxygen for energy. It almost certainly also means your heart isn't as strong as it could be, so it has to beat harder to get the oxygen to your muscles. You can improve all three of these things at the same time. By exercising regularly to the point you're breathing hard, your lungs will expand and increase their capacity. They'll become better at using oxygen because they're practicing it more. Your heart will also become stronger because, just like any other muscle, you're making it work. Become less out of breath long term by becoming more out of breath with intentional exercise. Drop your questions in the comments below. For more health and fitness insights delivered from experience and with integrity, subscribe to me. Thanks.